Thank you, Aaron. Uh, you put all these ideas in, all of a sudden Aaron calls you and say, "Hey, you're in." And you're like, "Oh crap! I got to make insurance something where people don't fall asleep and make it sexy." So I'm like, "All right, well, try to put this together." So, I came up with the idea of, we're all blueprinting cars. I'm like, we need a build sheet for our shops, because insurance is not an easy thing to understand. And when I started thinking about it a little more, I'm like, well, to understand the solution, we need to know some of the problems. So, in my 10 minutes here today, I want to bring three of the emerging challenges right now that we ought to understand. So, I want to bring three of them to you. Hopefully, you'll get some good takeaways from these three things that you're facing today. And if you're not facing it yet, I guarantee you it's coming in the real near future. The first one is cyber liability. Everybody's talking about cyber. People are getting hacked. I did some really cool research. I typed in cyber in Google and cyber attacks, and some of the numbers on there's about 2,200 daily cyber attacks going on. That's like one every 39 seconds. Cost of that's documented, about $8 trillion last year. That's pretty significant. Two of the big things I see that are really prevalent right now is misdirected payments. So you're like, okay, misdirected payments, how's that happen? Well, these bad actors are getting into other people's email systems, and maybe it's a vendor that you pay a monthly bill to. Well, they're in their system, they don't know it. You get an email from them with a link and says, I got a bill. It's not normal I get a bill from them this way, but I trust them. I'll click the link and pay them. Well, guess what? That's a misdirected payment. Legitimate email, but a link to a site that took your money. It's probably one of the more common things coming out right now. The other one, the other one's happening is everybody's really good about protecting your data, having backups. It's great. However, these cyber guys have gotten a little bit smarter. They know that a lot of collision, especially these smaller collision shops, they get hit with ransomware. People have the attitude of, well, I just took that laptop and threw it away and I got a brand new one and load new software. Well, these guys are actually going into your data and into your system, and they're looking for your backup first. They're not going to take your computer hostage yet. They get into your backup, and once they secure your backup, now they take you hostage, and you think, no big deal. Well, guess what? I pull out my backup, and it's not going to work either. So that one is probably one of the leading things that some of the cyber insurers that we work with has seen come out recently. Obviously, the best thing for cyber is prevention. Is having a good cyber company or consultant that you work with, having multiple backups, whether it be one in the cloud, one that's definitely not connected to your network, and just having good cyber risk management. Second one out there is, I call it reduction of coverage. Key words that you'll see on, like, if you ever have an insurance renewal, is keywords: exclusion, limitations, advisory notice of change. Usually all these keywords means they've changed something in your coverage, they've reduced your coverage, and it's not going to be what you're paying for. And they probably are charging you more too. One of the examples on there that I highlighted, that's from a policy I looked at last week that somebody sent in to me to look at. That's their garage keepers coverage. A lot of shops out there have direct primary coverage, which is their comprehensive coverage on your customers' autos. When it's direct primary, you are the first coverage on that, and that's required by some vendors. Well, in this case, they excluded flood and earthquake. So you might now have an issue with your vendor agreement. Other examples I've seen that's prevalent right now is also autonomous autos. And people are like, okay, what's the big deal about autonomous autos? Well, when you're out on a test drive and the test drive requires you to put it in autonomous mode, who's driving the car? Under traditional, standards of looking at contract language, that technician's no longer the one driving it. It's the software from the manufacturer. Does your insurance cover it? Well, I've seen now where insurance companies, so several of them out there, pointed out that they're excluding the operation of autonomous autos in their language. So there's another situation where you may have a gap. The other thing with this, we're reduction of coverage, and it's actually more of a reduction of staffing. You notice the 3M guys that are up here earlier, they came from the insurance world. Claim staff. The first thing they do when they look at saving costs is they cut headcount. There's also new technology. They're replacing, a lot of their field staff. Do your insurance companies have the talent to handle the highly technical claims? So if you as a body shop owner had a claim that involved your work, it's more than just, a physical damage appraiser. This takes a lot of skill and people to actually know how to do the job that you did and then being able to defend you. A lot of times they don't have that in-house anymore. They're relying on a vendor, and hopefully that vendor maybe can figure out an expert to hire. That's not the defense I'd want. So claim staff is something that's pretty important to you. And the third one, this is where I'm going to bring it home. It's you. And let's face it, as a shop owner, you're busy. You're worried about the front end, the money coming in the door. You're worried about your people. You got bills coming in, and your commercial business insurance, it renews once a year. So what's in the front of your mind? And usually by the time you have time to think about it, oh crap, the renewal's next week. Well, they only raised the money so much, and I'm just going to go on and renew it. You as business owners take the time, and you intimately know your customers' insurance coverage because you know how to help your customers, how to get paid. But the biggest foundation or building block of your business is your business. Without your business, your people don't get fed, your family doesn't get fed, your customers don't get taken care of. So really it's taking that time to figure out, okay, maybe I need to take the time to read my policy. Ask some questions about it. Y'all obviously attend a lot of the conferences. You know things going on. Take some of those highlights back to your agent or whoever your person you trust. And the biggest takeaway on that is find somebody you trust. Either take that time and invest in it to know the coverages, or make sure you have a trusted advisor or somebody that's involved in your industry that knows what you go through. So I want to circle back to what we really started with is a build sheet. Obviously in 10 minutes, I couldn't give you a build sheet today, but I will. If you email me, I have put together a build sheet of just some basic things for each section, whether it be property, your general liability, your commercial auto, garage keepers. It's pretty easy to map it out. So, my goal for you is I'll give you some tools to help map it out if you email me, and we can work through this together. And I think that's all I have.